People, deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. As usual, I apologize for being late, but lateness is greatness and them thing there. So yeah, as I said, good morning to those of you in the UK. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where else you lot are situated in this world. Welcome, people. Please don't feel any way. Definitely about hitting the like button. Let's get our target of 100 likes early. We're going to speak, or I'm going to offer my opinions on this whole, another day, another protest business, Kroenke in general, etc. Couple other Arsenal bits and pieces and whatnot. There really isn't too much to speak about from an Arsenal perspective. Definitely where transfers are concerned. Obviously, we'll have to see. It's not over to the fat lady sings. I do give the club the grace of refraining from my full 100% opinions of what's going on until we're able to get somebody in, or not able to get someone in at the close of the window. But I'm not gonna lie, going into the season, it wasn't looking good. During the early part of the season, it isn't looking good. And when you couple in the fact of, Stan Kroenke, inconsistencies with Arteta, question marks over Edu, definitely question marks over the players, you can't, apart from blind optimism, you can't really be confident about much in relation to Arsenal Football Club. I'll get into my opinions and whatnot in a second, but as you lot know, people, I love to hear what you lot are saying and whatnot. What have you said? Big up, James. Empty stadium, don't buy the merchandise. The board are laughing at us for years. To be honest, not going to the stadium would probably hurt directly Arsenal's pockets more than the shirts, purely because these sort of things, there's all sorts of deals and whatnot where the money goes to Adidas, so it don't really affect the club. And a lot of clubs run schemes like that. I hear you on the empty stadium business. We're struggling to sell tickets for Arsenal, Chelsea, such as the lack of optimism. I'm sorry, we've been doing well against Chelsea of recent, but 9 times out of 10, definitely since we moved to the Emirates, us versus Chelsea hasn't been too good. It's still a big game. It's still, out of all the games against the top teams, one where we should have a chance. Obviously, it's the second week of the season. Whatever is going to happen with Arsenal, we don't know. So that should be a sellout. The very fact that Arsenal versus Chelsea, one of the fixtures Chelsea fans are looking at when it gets lined up, Arsenal fans are looking at when it gets lined up, has not been sold out. You can go find one for about 90 quid or whatever. Now, all it takes with Arsenal fans is 1-2 signings, bit of optimism, and everybody's flocking. Let's not lie. I wouldn't say, like I say, for me, I was blindly optimistic. We all know what's gone wrong with we all know what's gone wrong with Arsenal. We know what the lack of things that are right. We know Arsenal's problems. But, with a degree, there was a bit of new season optimism. We knew the same thing was going to happen and whatnot. But at the same time, you get the point. So, like I said, a lot of people are looking at Arsenal as we're having a meltdown, we're overreacting, we're doing all of these things when it's nothing to do with that. We was vexed about last season anyways, really from December. Some of us before that, we've been vexed about pre-season. We're vexed how the season started. We've been vexed with our performances during pre-season. We're not looking, no Arsenal fan is looking at, we lost to Spurs, we lost to Chelsea, we're terrible. Obviously it's an L, but we're looking at what we're being told and what is happening actually in pre-season, and then the fallout of that. We can't expect to then go and play, go and kick off our first game, whether it's Brentford or not, looking like a team. Unclear what the manager's doing, unclear what the technical director's doing. The players are not on nothing. The owner, what are you lot saying? Again, it's an absolute, it's a shambles, man, and it kills me. It kills me to see this happening to the club, because I love this football club. There's no other way. There's no other way around it. I'm always gonna watch it. I'm always gonna take it in and all of these sort of things, man. It is what it is. Yeah, man. So what else are you guys saying? If you're a real fan, you won't go to the game. Chris, we need to be wary of what defines being a real fan. I don't think anybody can tell a next man or woman, they aren't a fan, whether they go to the game or not. I don't think, I'm pretty sure there's many fans that feel some sort of way about Kroenke. They're still going to go. And to be honest with you, it's still our first game of the season. The boys, whether they deserve it or not, still kind of deserve the support. Whether I believe the manager should be in the job or not, still deserve it. And for the fans, bro, we've been waiting half a season, so let's refrain from saying you're not a real fan or you're a real fan if you're doing several things. There's no way of quantifying that. As long as you're behaving yourself, you're not being derogatory, and all of these sort of things, you are a real fan. Not going to. And for some people, how do you know people's situations? Some people might not have long to live, and the Emirates going on to Emirates and Chelsea might be the last one. Certain people might never get a chance to go to the game again. Somehow they've found an opportunity to go to this. So going to games, not going to games, doing the boycott thing, not doing the boycott thing, protesting, you know, in any sort of, or not protesting, it doesn't mean you are or aren't a real fan. I mean, it's absolute nonsense. And I think stuff like that is just designed to try and guilt trip people if you care about opinions, you know. Obviously, we need to get rid of Kroenke. It's as simple as that. You know, do I think the protests on Sunday are going to make things happen? Of course not. You know, it's going to be a long, dragged out process. You know, even if Kroenke said he was leaving tomorrow, you know, don't let your love, and I'm not saying this to back Kroenke, do not let your love for or your love to see this guy out, or your thirst for a new manager, just make you accept anyone. We need to get the right owner. Now, I don't know who the right owner is because I don't know no one from anywhere. Daniel Ek, for example, I'm not saying he's the right or wrong owner. We don't know him from nowhere. Our desperation makes us think anyone is better than Kroenke, and they might be. He legitimately probably is, but we don't know. He could be selling dreams. He could be promising stuff. He could have his own issues. I'm just using him as an example. I would love to know where he's gone now, because I personally feel he should have kept up all of this talk in the summer. Suddenly, there's been no talk. Vieira's gone off to do his thing. Henry's doing his thing. Bergkamp's doing his thing. That fallacy that Daniel Ek was trying to come with is gone. You know, it's going to take years for this guy to move. He has shown that he is not leaving Arsenal. He has shown that. We have to just keep going, whether we win, lose, or draw. Just make, you know, leave no air of doubt that the man needs to leave. You know, the new owner is the right thing. I think you get a new owner, everything is changed, because as much as I don't condone a lot of what Arteta is doing, and I don't quite think he can hide behind the Kroenke excuse. Where is the direction? There's no mandate from the owner to be, you know, when Arsenal is mentioned, to be a serious club. So when Arteta is doing unserious things, who's checking him? You know, Edu, technical director, who have you sold? Who have you brought in? What is your legacy? You know, why is it like that? A real owner puts pressure on them. And to be fair with you, as much as I feel there's a huge degree of incompetence with Arteta in his managerial role and Edu as technical director, you know, a real owner isn't going to probably bring inexperienced people in at a time where you probably need some experience, or you need people that can learn from their mistakes, but he's going to guide them with the necessary people. You know, Edu's been left out in the wild, and so has Arteta. There's an element of, you know, I'm sure Arteta knows a lot about management more than we do. Clearly, I'm sure he's got a lot of ideas. I'm sure a lot, but logically speaking, there's a lot he doesn't know, because he's never walked the walk as a manager. Same goes for technical director Edu. Where is their support? As much as I think, you know, from a managerial point of view, there's a lot of excuses that Arteta can hide behind. Everything on the sporting front, away from bringing in players, he can't. And Edu, again, you knew what you was coming into, but again, you ain't surrounded them with experience. You ain't really put them on a mad apprenticeship and surrounded them with people. Again, it's a joke. Kroenke needs to go. Sunday isn't going to make much of a difference, but it is a step in the right direction. We need to keep it up. Whether you're going or not going doesn't mean you're more or less for the cause. We need to, when it's stuff like, I know football, there's not a lot of logic where emotion is, but you need to use your logic. What we need to do is just focus our efforts. I feel sorry for the club. I feel sorry for the fans. I feel sorry for the players. I can have my opinions on the players. Definitely got a lot of strong opinions. I can feel sorry for Arteta. Definitely got a lot of strong opinions. I feel sorry for the fans, because reality is, this is our first home game of the season. This is our first home game in front of the players for a while. The fans deserve to enjoy their moment, support and whatnot, and nothing more than that. The same for the players. Sadly, there's going to be this elephant in the room, and it's needed, you know. Whether the players feel some sort of way about it, I don't really care, because it's needed. And I just feel Arsenal live in a bubble. Dude, Arteta, for example, speaks a lot about, make sure you're hitting the like button, people. There's over 300 of you locked in, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't match up. Arteta speaks a lot about the fans are needed and the fans are required. And I agree. You look at Brentford, you know, on top of them just being better than us for the sake of it, how much did the fans get at them? Spurs were superb against City, so take nothing away from them on a tactical front. How much was a big thing of the 12th man behind them? Watford and Villa. You know, Arsenal fans aren't the most vocal, but that little bit of support. You know, our home form was atrocious last season. Could it have been better with home support? I think Arteta might have lost his job if there was home fans there, because it would be toxic. I think there's a rude awakening. But when I look at the players, what's going on off the field or relation to Kroenke is irrelevant. It shouldn't sway you. You know, it should not sway. Your job is on the sporting front. What the fans are doing and whatever, your job is to perform once you go onto that pitch. That's it, fundamentally. And this is why I always say you need competence, you need confidence, and you need consistency. Confidence isn't just always trying mad skills and whatnot. It's a toxic environment. Fans might be booing you lot. Fans might, rightly so. The players deserve the boos. Arteta deserves the boos, you know. Kroenke deserves the booze. It's going to be toxic. You need to be able to deal with that. because fans are not your friends. You know, it's a relationship of convenience. Nobody cares about, you know, Aubameyang scored 20 league goals or whatever, been mad consistent. The minute he's been shaky, certain fans don't give a shit. This is the real life of football. This is why when footballers want to move and stuff, you can't tell them nothing. Can you step into that environment and carry on? Because I feel we live in a bubble. The same bubble that is getting Xhaka a new contract, captaining the side and reiterating his sense of importance is the same one that rewards mediocrity amongst several of these players. It's the same one where Arteta isn't being asked any questions. And fundamentally, the owner, clearly, when you look at the levels, it's easier to get a new manager. We've been linked with Conte. It's easy to get a technical director. You look at Spurs with Patrici. The man's never lived in England, to my knowledge. The minute he's come in now, you're immediately seeing his expertise in the Italian field. He brought in a goalie. They've got Romero. They've been linked with one or two other names and whatnot around Italy. And I'm sure throughout his time there, he's going to find one, two of these things. Edu, do we look like, are we doing up the South American thing? You know, we got Ben White, cool, fair enough. Could you have found a Brazilian equivalent for less? I haven't really seen that. Even Pablo Mari, I can't give that to you. Yeah, he was playing in Brazil, but when you look at it, Arteta's worked with him at City and all of these sort of things. The Martinelli one, you weren't behind it. You know, what's going on there? A real owner asks is something. So we can, you know, we've seen Wenger here, Mislintat, Raul. There's been many different dominoes. The only one that needs to fall is Kroenke. Get rid of Kroenke, you get a winner in there. And I mean, someone who wants to be a proper owner, everything falls into place. You look at Villa, you look at Leicester, you look at Roman Abramovich, you know, I'm sure United's a bit of a techie one I can't speak on. And I know the Glazers might be doing several things, but I mean, based on the investment, you can't really complain. City defo can't complain, you know. I'd say if you was to, I'm sure Spurs would say something about Daniel Levy historically and as it Joe Lewis, but I can't really speak for Spurs. I'm pretty sure if you was to do a survey on the two most unhappy fan bases of all the clubs in the league, I would say the only one that's probably slightly more vexed than us, if anything, is, you know, Newcastle, because they're there with Mike Ashley and whatnot. Even he's took out his checkbook and got their top target, Joe Willock. What have we done? You know, what have we actually done? Yeah, we've got Ben White. Shout out to Ben White. He's doing his thing. Take nothing away from him. I think he's going to be a good player. But we've got the double whammy. You know, Kroenke is just going to make money off this club. He's never put his own money in and he gets away with it. And away from that, even if, you know, you look beyond that, I'm not really asking him to put his own money in. I would love to have, you know, doing that. But let's not act like Arsenal hasn't spent mad cash. A real owner asks is what's going on. You know, I'm just going to throw some names out there. Lacazette, 52 million. Ben White, 50 million. I'm just painting a picture. You know, I'm being harsh to Ben White, but some would say one season, 50 million. Are you overpaying? You know, Lacazette, Granit Xhaka. You know, how many of these players, Pepe, how many of these, you know, big money free transfers, Willian, Kolasinac, Mkhitaryan, how many of these things have happened under his watch? Suddenly, if you ask questions or people lose their jobs and whatever, there's going to be no foolishness. Do you remember when Chelsea were on some next thing and they were getting Pizarro on a free, Sidwell on a free, couple of things like that many moons ago? Someone must have got sacked for doing that. You know, somehow in a COVID environment, Chelsea are making over 100 million. Now, the difference with Chelsea, the environment's better. Marina's a winner because Roman wants to be a winner. This is why it filters down to Thomas Tuchel. And actually, they have players that are attractive. You can sell Tomori. You can sell Tammy. You can sell Mark Gurley. You can sell Livramento. These are decent players. You can't really sell the ones that we've got. These are damaged goods. You know, nobody wants them. But it's down to how you hustle. And for me, people, whether I criticize, I'm not defending Edu or Arteta at all, but while I criticize them, the mandate needs to change with the owner. Until the owner's gone, there's an issue. We can have different managers, we can have different technical directors, but they're all going to just keep doing the same old thing until we get rid of the owner, and the owner's not going to go anywhere for years. Realistically, all we can do is keep the pressure up online, there, wherever. Even if Arsenal were to win the FA Cup, get top four, everything cushy, everything blessed, keep the same energy. It's as simple as that. You know, it seems like Arsenal fans are whining. It is quite sad for me that it's got to this. I'm not going to lie to you. It's the second week of the season. We're playing Chelsea. This is a season where we've never needed more togetherness as a United Football Club across all aspects. Bro, we finished 8th. We win, lose, and draw together. We cannot be divided. Players need to give something to the fans. Fans will always match that energy. Everybody else connected above the players, they need to give something to the fans, because I see inconsistencies in the way Arteta talks. I see inconsistencies in what Edu says at the start and during the window. I see inconsistencies from the Kroenkes, and these are the problems. The only luxury I will give this club until the fat lady sings and the transfer window is closed, anything can happen. And I'm not saying that to keep the faith. I'm just saying that because logically, I can't sit here and say you're not making moves, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and not comprehend that the window isn't closed. Am I expecting a Mazza? Of course, I would love Maddison, Awawa, Odegaard, some sort of Mazza that started off in the window. You know, we went from being linked with them, man, Camavinga, war chest talks, 250 million this, and we lap it up. We fall for the same BS all the time. I don't think fans have fell for it. I don't think you can be a deluded Arsenal fan. You know, obviously, I don't think you can. You do get fans that bury their heads in the sand. I think a lot of fans, even the blind optimistic ones like me, you can comprehend that you're asking for a lot, because this team is so fractured. You've got players with bad habits. You've got an Arteta not really learning from his mistakes. You've got an incompetent Edu. You've got an incompetent owner. And, you know, from a business point of view, you know, the man's the devil, really and truly. It's fantastic that he's never actually put his actual money in. He's seen his shares double. He loses us as collateral. If this was any other discipline or any other sort of business or any sort of organization, it'd be applauded. Sadly, it's my football club and your football club, and this is where we're going to be, really and truly, until we get these guys out. Even it's not going to happen overnight. You know, we can't just accept any owner, but at the same time, me and you lot, we can't stress test no owners. We don't know them from nowhere. We can look online and see if they've been involved in any dodgy dealings, they've done anything immoral, if they've got any, you know, skeletons in their personal life that makes people not want them. But we don't know. We don't know Daniel Ek from nothing. He's a businessman. Them and they know the importance of language, how to say certain things, when to say certain things, why to say certain things. He could promise us everything under the sun and be worse than Kroenke. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying we can't, you know, look at someone to be the Messiah. Same way we look at that. We look at Ben White or Gabriel to fix every centre-half issues. Probably certain people are betting on Arteta to turn this around on some Disney Channel stuff. We need to get out of our head that one person alone is going to shift this football club. If you're not Wenger, if you're not Sir Alex Ferguson, them days there are gone. Everybody needs to have the same collective mindset. And I can't see it, because Arteta is, pardon my language, Arteta's bullshit is condoned. Edu's bullshit is condoned. Kroenkes don't give a crap. You see, at the start of the year when it was season tickets and whatnot, we're appointing a fan to the board to give the talks. We're doing this with the AST. There's a war chest there. Arteta's gonna be back. All of these sort of things. And as it's gone on, you're seeing what they're on. You're seeing what they're on. Like I said, the only luxury I'll give you until the market's closed. But it's about intention. You know, there's clearly no emphasis being put on Arteta from those above to start seeing what the fuck his team is meant to look like. It's been how long now? There's no emphasis on Edu to pattern up in the transfer market, because you ain't your legacy if you leave tomorrow. What have you done? What have you done? You know, I'm sure or I hope the fact that he's never been in that role before was brought up in his interview. And I'm sure he, like Arteta, they assured you that inexperience can be a curse, but it can also be a blessing. What is his legacy? What is Arteta's legacy? What is the Kroenke's legacy? Because we've been steadily sleepwalking into the abyss since this man took the club. You know, he is the devil. There's no way around it. And for me personally, what scares me is that saying, it's got to get worse before it gets better. Because let's be honest, as terrible as it is as an Arsenal fan, when you look at it, I'm not saying I condone this, and we're meant to have high standards, but when you look at it without emotion, there is an element of sounding like spoiled kids. I am not happy to finish 8th at all. I am not applauding finish 8th, but certain teams have been relegated. Certain teams have done all of them things. We have finished. We're kind of crying about 2 8th place finishes and a 5th/6th the year before that. In and amongst that, we've still been getting trophies. We've still been doing stuff. Obviously, that's not what I agree with. That's actually the unfiltered truth. That is actually a fact. So it is what it is. I don't see it changing anytime soon, but you know, the protests need to start up, and crucially, they need to not stop. What I hate about Arsenal is there's no unity as a whole football club consistently. You know, people can't respect people's opinions. You can be Arteta's biggest critic or biggest fan. As long as you can comprehend there are things to criticize about him, there's things to praise him. The same goes for the players. The same goes for everything. We're too polarized. You speak to 10 Arsenal fans, 5 of them ridiculously positive, the others are ridiculously negative. There's no in between, and I think that harms us as well across all aspects, you know, because when some fans, and I think you should be allowed to voice your opinion, you know, when we're, you know, certain fans, if you was doing it when we went, when we had our little stage of form between, I say form, it didn't get us nowhere. At the end of December to the end of the season, you'd probably being called negative and all of that for saying Kroenke out. Or even if they weren't saying that, they were saying it's not the right time. When is the right time? It's only when we want to lose that people want to see several things. People don't care that we finished third, that third clean sheet stuff was papering over cracks, because I've been saying it to you. People only wanted to speak about how poor it is when you do things like against Brentford or the last couple games in pre-season. Prior to that, you're a negative, you're just a negative Larry sort of thing. You're just shouting and whatnot. And I feel that's normally said with the Kroenkes as well, or people voicing their opinions. It's not that people are saying protect them. It's like people are just saying allow it. Like, it's not the time in it. There's no real need for it. There's never a time. One thing that needs to happen is it's always made abundantly clear that these men need to go. Unless a miracle happens where they start doing everything we demand, you need to keep it up. And I feel that's a problem. Arsenal fans lack balance when speaking about players, protests. We just lack unity. And I can't, we're divided because the club is divided, What would you hear half the time? There are some concerns about when AUBAMEYANG came. There's some concerns about his attitude. Some people don't care. When Ozil signed the new deal, Wenger and some were saying don't do it. Other man was saying do it. When Emre was getting sacked, some man are trying to give him a new deal. Other people aren't. There's so much division, even down to fucking Hosamawa, pardon my language. What did you hear? There are some, like with your Buzz as well. You heard there's some concerns about him. There's division. And obviously, I'm not saying you can't have disagreements. You can't disagree. You can't have alternative opinions, because I'd expect that. You need that. If everybody's thinking of the same sort of way or the same direct trail of thought, we're going to be in trouble. It's a serious problem. And I can't see it getting better anytime soon, people. But yeah, the protests are going to be a good look, man, in my opinion. They need to, because I think there's too much of a bubble. And I think Arteta lives in a bubble. Kroenke lives in a bubble because the man's half the time he's not even in the country, man. The saddest thing is all this protest stuff. It's kind of, I'm not saying it's air, but it's air because my man don't even know. He probably doesn't even know where the very building he owns. He probably doesn't even know where Arsenal is. Doesn't even know where Arsenal is. If Liam Brady walks past him and Tony Adams walk past him and Omri and Vieira walk past him, who's that? Is he going to say, are they security guards? Are they stewards? What? He's not going to know them. He's living in a bubble. So as much as we're protesting, man's over half the other side of the world, airing it. His son might be doing the thing, but he's airing it. But the same way, the energy needs to stay. It needs to. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a long fight, regardless of what these lot do in the transfer window. Because let's be honest, all it takes is a big money signing, whether it's mismanagement or not. Arsenal fans will shut up. Let's be real, because fans shut up for a second. It's only now that it's really going up again. And like towards the end of the year, we need to keep it consistent. Whether that's online, whether that's whatever sort of thing. We all know a lot of people aren't going to call things for what it is, because a lot of people don't want to lose out on being involved with the club and whatnot. Again, I pride my channel on you lot can say whatever you want, as provided you're not being rude, you're not being derogatory, you're not belittling other people's opinions. You're allowed to say what you want. I feel with football, and definitely when it comes to Arsenal content creators, it's a very difficult one. You've got individuals that are really ridiculously negative because they know they need to get social engagements. You've got people that don't want to call a spade because they're whoring themselves out in the hope that Arsenal say, do you want to work with us and all of these things and retain getting their free shirts and whatnot. So this is the mess we're in. They say it's got to get worse before it gets better. It probably has, man. The gloves need to come off now. Like, something needs to change, but will it? I don't know, man. Let me take in you lots of opinions on everything. One love to the 700 odd of you locked in. Please make sure you're hitting the like buttons if you haven't already. We're at 220 likes. That's over 500 of you who have not hit that like button. If you haven't, Kroenke is definitely staying. Unexpected high bills for you lot. New contracts for Sead Kolasinac. Improved deal for Willian awaits. So hit the like button if you don't want to be involved in any of that. One love to everybody, man. Said 40k pack loading. Hopefully, my dude. Hopefully. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you're checking out your DG merch. Man said DG late because he was chatting to Edu. Bro, I'm not even going to lie. I feel sweat, bro. I told you, look, I criticize Edu directly to his role. I can only get onto you for what you do. I hear technical director. You as a central midfielder. And Edu, arguably, sorry, my guy, one sec. We can make this another timestamp. I was initially gassed about Edu, people. I was gassed. Obviously, I had my concerns. He's not experienced. He's not walked the walk before. I think if, I'm of the belief of we need the more experienced thing if they're going to be protected. But I was gassed. I was like, the way Edu was speaking, obviously I was gassed off the fact that, he's been at Arsenal when we was actually good. He's done his thing in Brazil. None of that really matters if your playing career don't really matter what you're doing in the next role. But I would have thought, he would have seen what's wrong with the team. What was really gassing me with Edu is he used to say things that I like to travel with the team. He was on that whole non-negotiables sort of stuff. And I would have thought, you know what, you got a young guy there, you've got Arteta there. We tried the experience thing. It didn't really work. Maybe the very thing I'm scared of a lack of experience could be a benefit because then they're free from biases and things. Now, obviously, it's not really working out and Edu isn't doing anything. And it's for me, I can only criticize Edu on his role. As I said, what have you brought to the table? You ain't utilized the emerging markets that you come from or got contacts. You ain't really done them as I give you, you hear that you're keying, you was keying up, obviously confirming a new contract for AUBAMEYANG, Balogun and Tierney, I believe, and I might be missing out Bukayo Saka. You did your madness last January, which we probably should have done before that. But, I don't really think your level's in the role and I would like somebody else because I think you're punching. That same logic, I feel sorry for Edu because he can do no right. Like Arteta, if you're going to employ someone in a business that you think has potential to be in a senior role, but they haven't done it, at least you're going to give them a teething period where you're going to help them and surround them by people. Or if they kind of struggle or they're drowning, someone that can give them a life jacket and things. That's not there. People are left to their own devices. Now, Edu has his own problems. He's getting into bed with agents. He's not making decisions. I personally feel him and Arteta, they're not putting any pressure on either because they're cool with what they're doing. There's no pressure from Kroenke. But I feel sorry for him away from all of that because how can I expect too much from you? You've been, you're kind of crippled. You can't really sell players. You can't really bring in players. I don't know what's going on with the investment. That's away from his obvious incompetence. The same trail of thought is extended to Arteta and anybody else. This is the issue with this football club. And my biggest issue with Kroenke is the fact that, cool. If we look at it and say, all right, cool, you're not investing, you ain't put your own money in, but there has been money available. Why are you not putting individuals that can spend money better? Because for me, listen, 50 for Ben White is what it is. I think we could have done a lot worse. Probably 30, probably about 20 million, 10 million more than probably would have liked. At the end of the day, if he does his job and there's longevity there, he's fulfilled his price tag. But someone's got to justify that. People might say that's reckless spending. If you, like you saw with Lampard, you spend all that money, there's no results, you're gone. If 50 million goes to Ben White, 30 million on Ramsdale, whatever other additions you want to bring into this club, can you see Arteta getting sacked? You wanted these players, you've got these players. Can you see Edu getting sacked? You can't. It's the same breeding ground for failure when there's no real pressure. I'm not going to say Arteta doesn't have pressure. He's a Premier League manager for fuck's sake. But you get the point in it. When there's no real pressure, no real mandate, no real collective goal, and everyone's not of a winning and growth mindset, this is what you get. People governing in self-interest. I'm not being sinister to Mikel Arteta, but I would, if I'm him, I'm thinking I've got a great role. I'm not going to get sacked. There's no real pressure until something really gives. I might be a good manager for Arsenal, or I might be a good / great manager elsewhere. Either way, this experience is going to help me beyond what's happening with Arsenal. The same might go for Edu. These are things. It's almost like a training ground sort of thing. What are we doing? I don't know, but we'll have to see, innit? We'll have to see, man. We really will have to see. And the thing is that, I'll always have confidence, but the problem is we defeat ourselves. We defeat ourselves in the transfer market. We defeat ourselves on the football field. Everything we do, we're self-defeative way before we talk about other factors and whatnot. It is quite sad, really and truly, man. It really is, but boy, what are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? One love to everybody commenting. One love to everybody tuned in, man. I appreciate it nonetheless, people, man. We're at 297 likes. Let's keep moving, man. We must be able to get to 400. If you ain't hit that like button, hit that, people. So, yeah, man. I'm ready to start going to Arsenal women's games instead. Big up Medima. I mean, the women actually move like a big club. No disrespect, the players are on crowd. They do a madness, Man said half empty stadium tickets on sale to the general public for the first time. See, because no one wants to buy that. The wicked that the DP is killing me. The wickedest thing is, if we beat Chelsea, you can imagine City's gonna be full out. You carry on like this. Why would people want to go there? Like, why would you? I'm not gonna lie, like I said, blind optimism in it. I was not optimistic about what we could do this season because we ain't done enough in the transfer market. Got my concerns about Arteta from a tactical front, but on the basis of, you do always have, at the end of the day, it's a new season, innit? there's an element of starting again. You know, there's an element of optimism. There's an element of you lot went through, you know, a madness last year. Have you got yourself in the right headspace to go again? For me, that was all kind of lost Chelsea in pre-season, because I'm looking at it, and fair enough, shout out to me because I picked some elite seats. I'm literally looking at the back line. I'm looking at everyone. I'm on base level. I've seen enough to not be confident because of it's how we're going about things. I think if there was a way of playing, if you know, if certain things were there, then Arteta and the club might get allowed. But suddenly, you know, all Arsenal fans want is hope. You don't get hope from all those collective players. You might grab one from the young players, the Smith Rowes, the Sackers. You know, Tavares and Lokonga been here 2 seconds, and fans might be overgassing it. But I'd say they've given people more optimism, and people of that ilk, and a couple of exceptions. You don't get that through the squad. This is why fans carry on the way they're carrying on, and it's got to get worse before it gets better, man. Hit the likes button on the way in, people. DG's a hard worker, man. Big him up. Let's support him. We need man on Sky Sports. I don't know if we'll ever grab Sky Sports or anything like that. Personally, I think everything's meant to stay the way it is. Unfortunately, I think there's a real barrier to growing, but we keep going nonetheless, man. We keep going. None of that negativity, man. I appreciate that, man. Hope everybody's having a good day. You know, away from Arsenal, let's remember, you know, it's Tuesday. I hope everybody's moving closer towards their dreams, hopes, goals, and aspirations. Roxy has said a serious boycott is needed and to continue throughout this season. I would love it to be the empty stadiums, but we've got to stop being naive, man. Certain people have been paying for season tickets. You know, I can't lie. I would hope you wouldn't go, but at the same, if it got to that, but if you're paying grands, literally grands of your hard-earned money for season tickets, no one can tell me if that's me, regardless. But I'm paying P's. I'm going into the stadium, and away from that, Arsenal. Well, one person doesn't go, there's going to be a million other, and I do think it's kind of unfair because let's just say you see how foreign fans, for example, kind of got shagged with Corona disallowing us to go to America. Let's just say, boom, I've saved up. I live in America. I've saved up my money now. I've got a plane ticket and hotel and all those things. I'm coming to the UK. Arsenal is playing. You know, this might be my only chance. You know, it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. This might be my only chance. Do I think it's right to deny them just because they can't go to, you know, not to go into the ground because of this boycott? And for comments like saying you're a real fan if you won't go to the game. Come on now. I'm not gonna say it's nonsense, but it don't make sense. You know, one thing you can't look at this with just this is what I feel, so that's what goes. It don't work like that. Life don't work like that. But yeah, man. And this is it for Darren, first home game of the season. But even Arsenal fans, and you know how Arsenal fans continue. For Arsenal fans to have collectively to all have self-awareness and really not have optimism, it speaks. And for once, Arsenal fans are voting with their wallet. You know, we'll buy up the shirts. I did, but boy, the ticket now. For me, I have no problem. It's just the fact that I face the prospect of spending 90 odd quid on a ticket, jumping on the train, getting an Uber as well, backyard, but getting on the train, you know, getting a pre-match food and all of those sort of things. I typically go Nando's still, you know, little couple 1-2 beers and whatnot, bearing in mind the 90 quid, you know. And I'm going to do all of that. You know, it's a nice day out for me. I've told you, like, Arsenal helped me with depression. They didn't help me specifically. I used to just go to the Emirates and just stay there. It's the only place, man, felt at home and part of few people. And, you know, I wish I could meet a lot of the people I used to speak to at the ground because obviously I didn't tell them at the time and they wouldn't know. But just their conversations there, it kept a man going. Like, it really just gave me something, innit? So if there's anyone that felt the way I felt, or if there's anyone that just wants to go to the game, because we love our club, we talk nonsense and we say, oh, we hate it, with this, that, and the other, we're still going. If there's thousands of tickets available, and like, you know, Cam said, it's on general sale. And this is a Cat A. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, typically when you buy tickets, you have Cat A, which is your Chelsea's, your United's, your Cities, and people of that ilk. You have your Cat B's, which I don't actually know what would be the best example, but Cat B sides in it. Let's just say Arsenal are 7th, Everton are 8th. That's your sort of Cat B sort of thing, I would reckon. I could be wrong. Someone correct me. And then obviously you've got your Cat C's, which, well, Brentford's probably a Cat A now, but, you know, I'd imagine Brentford, Norwich, Watford potentially, Burnley, these sort of games. They're not important, but, you know, they're not the blockbuster games man are looking for at the start of the year. So for people for our first home game of the season, let alone our first home game against Chelsea, London derby, a team that of all the big teams we've actually done half decent against, you know, a game where, yes, tactics are important, but you need energy and support and all of those things. Speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. All it takes is a couple signings and the fans are back as well, you know, but it is. and Arsenal will probably see, what's the amount in the stadium they say, man. There's always I can't even remember the word, but every game I'm at, some of the games under Emre, and they would say, oh, it's 20, 30, 40,000, whatever they used to say. And I'm looking around like, you're bloody lying. There's no way there's X amount of people here, bro. I can see it more red than human beings. What are you on about? You're probably counting stewards and all of those sort of things now. You man are shameless, but it speaks volumes. Honestly, it speaks volumes, and it says it does. That fans are not on this. 2 weeks to go, left it late. And I don't think many fans are asking for everything to be sorted in this transfer window. Just proper encouragement. Yeah, cool. The midfield looks patterned, defense is patterned. Because I personally feel we've got the double whammy of, listen, we've just spoken about the first 30 odd minutes have been about the owners and whatnot, but we've got the double whammy of Arteta needs to be backed. He needs better players with a better mentality, better tactical ability and things. But has he shown that he deserves that? You bring him Aouar, Odegaard, and these guys. Has he shown he's going to now cut up defenses? You brought in Ben White. Have we shown we're going to improve on that third for clean sheets? Even though I think that's false images, I don't know. So there's a double whammy there. What I will say is, we will have to see. Really, it's one of them ones. Appreciate all the comments and all of those sort of things early doors, people. It's been, you lot always come with your important questions and your important conversations and all of those sort of things. Stylish has said, I can't lie, this will change nothing. We say this every season about boycotting games and not buying merch. I love my club, but I won't line KSC's pockets by buying tickets. I think I put that up already. I'm a very patient man, but it's wearing thin with what's going on at the club. We need to make 4+ signings or so if we want to challenge for the top 4, and I don't see that happening in the next 2 weeks. I'm just taking you lot's credit. I'm letting you lot do the speaking now. I actually don't see a way back from how we are right now regarding the players mentally and the owner's naivety on hiring people that actually care about the club and know what it means. Boy, get him to 40k subs. We keep going, man. We keep going. If you go to the game, a Kroenke out chant will be in order. But you can imagine the Arsenal fans were doing it. Bro, do you know where I'm not saying you're not a real fan if you go to the home games, but do you know who I feel sorry for? There's certain Arsenal fans out there who just do up away games, and I feel sorry for them because I'm not saying they're more important or whatever than anyone, but there's some real fans who I can see it in their hurt in their face. The only time they feel close to being part of Arsenal is Arsenal away. And for obvious reasons, they're not really on that. So, yeah. Adrian has said, we need a proper manager, then the reconstruction starts and proper recruitment. We are now a mid-table club. To be fair with you, in today, I hear you. You're not wrong, Adrian. But for me, I look at it a bit differently. I don't think much can change until the owner goes. Obviously, you can get a more competent manager, a more competent technical director, and clearly they can achieve more on a sporting front. But we'll hit a glass ceiling. I think managers are the most disposable. They're only going to, as you can see, they're only going to be as good as the mandate. So while you've got a technical director who ain't serious, you've got a sideways board. Do I really need to say anything about Kroenke? You're going to see these false images, and what you're hoping is that potentially Arteta Edu or a new duo, they overachieve, whether that's getting us top 4, winning a trophy or whatever. Because like you said, but we've got incompetence with some of the things we're doing. We've got an owner who doesn't care. We've got inconsistencies with people in between. And for me, it's just outdated lip service that really pisses me off about this club. It's like they really insult your intelligence with some of the things they're coming out. This club behaves like only, they always behave like they're doing a madness, like they're signing Lionel Messi. If you're not involved, you don't know, sort of thing. You always get the vibe that this club is they've got some bigger plan, but you never see the bigger plan and you sort of thing. And I don't know how to describe it, but I know some of you feel the same sort of way. But it is what it is in that regards, man. We're just gonna have to live with it, aren't we? Really. We're at 385 likes. We're almost at 400. You know what? Next target 500. There's close to 1,000 of you locked in. How can we not be at 1,000 already, people? I mean, a man said 1,500. So if you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. Or Kroenke is not going and nowhere, folks. It is the board that hired him, not the owners. So we've got to get the owner all the way to the manager, boy. Coach Gerald, I need you to come back on this, bro. We're gonna need to get you. But like you said, they don't count. They count how many tickets were sold, not attended. So you get me? You can see them capping it, man. Man said, I can't see where 40+ points are coming from to keep us up. I'm not scared about relegation, but I'm shook at Gerald, man. It's crazy, man. Arteta won an FA Cup with a back three and hitting teams on the counter. The team is not built for a flat four and possession football. Red Jabby, I'm not gonna lie to you. Maybe we need to look at Arteta then, because that reactive stuff, it was never going to be sustainable. You know, I don't know if it was a managerial bounce. I don't know if the players were fighting for sports. I don't know what it is, but something was, I don't know if it's Arteta's tactics, which I think it is. There's a lot of things there. And I hear you, but at the same time, you know, back three, you can play a back three. If you're going to do the Chelsea thing where they're going forward, they're just a back three and you can see it with their defenders, everybody's going forward, cool. But you're only as attacking as the manager. And the manager for a while, it worked being on this underdog thing, but other people have clocked it now. You need to offer something about it. It sounds crazy, but I have more faith in Arteta generally going into games against United, Chelsea, etc., than I have against Palace and whatnot. And you could say that's good on one hand, but you'd also say that's suicidal, because how many times do you buck the other big clubs, really, or top six, which we are not a part of? It's what you do against the others. But I hear you, you know, I really do. And for me, if he can do all the other things, but if we're sitting here as an Arsenal team and we're saying we can't play a flat back four and possession football, then the manager needs to go. Because if you're not good in possession, you're not going to play wavy football that we've become accustomed to. Even the sick counter-attacking football you saw under Arteta. And I know he's got it in him because, you know, we were playing a bit more attacking. I just think, I don't even know what's happened between winning that FA Cup and the start of that consequential season. I don't know. But that's how I feel anyways, man. Good question. Good opinion, better yet. My dude. To a flat back to go to a back. You know what? The maddest thing is as well, bro. I actually feel it's based off the second half, because I said it in the watch along at halftime at Brentford, definitely going into Chelsea. And I'd probably say, regardless of that result, going into City, personally, I think you need to do the back three thing just to try and save face. I'd rather lose 1 or 2-0 than 4-5. And I think the way you're moving, you know, Chelsea are gonna have their shooter. If we was to look at the game in pre-season and say it's a carbon copy, you're gonna see Chelsea go up a few gears. Plus, they've got Lukaku, who wants to get that first Chelsea goal of his second era. And obviously you've got everyone else. They got to rest. They got to rest, really. They didn't have to output. They didn't really have to be at much to beat Palace. So there's going to be issues. But if we go off that, it's scary. We go off Spurs, it's scary. We go off how we're defending in the earlier days in Scotland, it is very scary. You know, I can't be surprised that we struggle to deal with dead ball scenarios, because all preseason we fucked about with dead ball scenarios, you know. All I heard was drones, players are being given homework, double sessions. Bro, what are they doing? It must be a supply teacher then. People must be copying homework. I think Tini's the only one doing homework, and he's probably giving the man them the USB saying change up the work. But you know how incompetent it is. A couple of these players probably copied Tini's work word for word, and probably didn't even change their name to make it even look like theirs. So it's a bit of a sticky one, man. It's a very sticky one. Appreciate everybody locked in. Make sure you're checking out the pin message as well, folks, because you know, you got to be subscribed on Twitch and following on Twitch and all of those sort of things. One love to everybody who's been taking in the DG merch as well, folks. Links are in the description. Links have been posted. Hope you're good, G. Hope you're good, G. How many more signings do we need to challenge for the top four? First things first, mentally. You know, mentality, the consistency, the hunger, you know, same way I said we saw it last season. Sometimes, not that it means so much, but sometimes. Do you remember last year? This is where Arsenal really had to try to fail. Do you remember there was a point everyone was in the top four race purely because it mathematically was there. Spurs might mess up, Arsenal might mess up, United might mess up, Chelsea might mess up. Everybody was trying to fumble it. You know, even Leicester at time, everyone was trying to fumble it. Everyone was like, "No, you have it, you have it." And what scares me is there's times we kick off the Premier League. Like last week, we kick off the Premier League season, but we will kick off the game week 12:30, or we end it 5:30 or 4:30 on Sunday, and we just bottle. And we already know what we need to do to set the trend, or we already know what the other teams have done, and we crumble. You know, maybe so much more under Wenger when we used to go to Liverpool and get our asses handed to us. You know, people used to genuinely think, did we have a sleeping issue around 12:30? Did we need more hours? So I'd say mentally first. If you're asking me purely for a like just looking at players, it would become a question of depth, you know. While the strikers aren't doing their job, I won't say striker yet because I think they can get back to scoring, but just the striker added on to the final number, a bit of an asterisk. I would say I think 2 centre mids personally. You know, whether that's an 8.5 or a 10. I personally think you need a 6, someone that can do a bit of everything, a bit of 6, a bit of 8, and they can be a competent option. But I don't believe in our right back. I do think if all the other areas are fixed, you could get away with Leno as a top as a team aspiring for a top 4 finish. But there might come a time where you look at Leno. So I'd say goalie for me, goalie, 2 centre mids, right back. Maybe, you know, a magical player. I don't really feel there's a player here. There is couple. I don't really feel there's players that have any individual sort of brilliance. You look at all the other teams, you know, even Son at Spurs, individual brilliance. You know, yeah, Smith Rowe and Saka do it for us, but clearly you know where I'm getting at. So I think we might need a man with some individual brilliance. I'd keep an eye on in goal as well. But for me, the biggest signing they could make is some new mentality, really, because you'll say it's about the ability to apply yourself for 38 games. You know, these players are not bad. They just can't apply. If Chelsea cannot apply themselves for 38 games, they're not going to challenge for the league. City, great players, but it's no point being great, being bad against Spurs, being amazing in the next game, beating Arsenal, then losing. They can apply themselves over a 38-game period, whether they start the season slow or not. We can't, our application. And when you add in the silly mistakes we make, all the stuff that we typically do, you know, it's a negative cocktail. That's what it means when I always say we defeat ourselves. Because how many times do we sit and we lose? We're dissecting ourselves imploding. We're dissecting the same old mistakes way before we're giving praise to the opposition, which they deserve. Because for me, if I can only praise the opposition when we've lost, what can I say? We go back to the drawing board. But if you lost the teams and you said, wow, that's why that guy's a quality player or that's a quality team, what can you say? You know, they've taken the 3 points over our dead bodies. We don't make it tough. Like I always say, I'd hate to be on a night out with some of these Arsenal players because they're gonna leave you. So it's gonna get long for you. You might not make it back. You might wake up in a hospital bed. They might not even phone the ambulance for you. You know, because they don't ride for their comrades. You know, people are getting fouled. I'm not seeing people challenge things. You know, I don't believe in this too nicety thing. You can never not be too nice in life, but it don't mean enough to us. We're not dedicated enough to our craft. You know, and I'm not saying the players don't care. I think they do, but they just ain't got the fight. Some can't fight. Some don't know how to fight. Some just ain't got it. Some won't fight. And if you're not with this thing, you need to go. That's what should have been said. You know, all we heard is Arteta does this motivational thing, non-negotiables. Bro, does this look like a team that's non-negotiables, that does homework, that does double sessions, that has drones flying over and telling what's going on? They're a shambles. You know, they're in a fantastic privileged position. Do you know how much people would die to play for Arsenal Football Club or to be in positions like you? And these lot don't recognize it because they never play like if someone is gonna say you're never gonna kick a ball again. You know, they're never gonna play like the bread lines there, you know. They never play like teams that have families and have people depending on them and have people watching them and setting examples. These lot like embarrassment. They don't hate embarrassment enough, or they would arrest these issues by themselves. Do I think the players care? Clearly. But whether it's of the level that I need, whether it's the level that we need, is another thing. You lot are setting me off today, innit? Bloody hell. 60K is the stadium. Yeah, man. Chat ish get blocked. Come on. Got some unruly viewers in the chat. You lot pattern that, man. You guys have to protest, mate. Don't go to any home games, boy. I don't think empty seats got Wenger sacked. I think it got Emre sacked though. It's very unfair on people like me who have never seen a game and who doesn't live in England and want to see a game live and people saying you're a fit, bro. Fuck, bro. You gotta let no one else say you're a fan. Say you're a real or fake fan, bro. If man are not paying your bills, who are they, bro? Because man are saying saying thingy, man are saying like what's the thing I saw the other day? Like guys will say you're a fake fan for buying a ticket, a 90 quid ticket or whatever, but they're buying Sky Sports packages. It's not making sense. They've got other sort of things with the club. It's not making sense. It really isn't. Deluded, you're losing viewers because you have sensitive moderators. I don't think I've got sensitive moderators. I think if people are talking nonsense, then they're gonna go in it. So one love to my moderators. You know, if talking nonsense if having sensitivity means that you're allowed to condone nonsense and we're having nonsense, then I think you're in the wrong there. You know, one love to the moderators. But I would say so. I used to have a trigger happy one, but yeah, I don't know what's going on in the chat. I've been just talking, man. Wait, Chelsea bigger than Arsenal. Fair play. They can be as big as they want. Really, I don't really know. We've got bigger problems than dealing with that right now at this moment in time. We need to look like a fucking football club. So yeah, man. Stop spending money that goes into Kroenke's pocket. Boy. Waited years for tickets to be on Gen sale. Now I couldn't give a F. Boy. We buy tickets to see to see. I don't know what you're saying here. You said we buy tickets to see or team win firstly, or at least give a good performance. These next two games will be daylight robbery. Oh yeah, well, listen. Let's be real. We love football. Like we love football. We love to see the teams. There's nothing quite better than seeing our players. So it is what it is, man. It's a shame, though, man. It's a shame. The protest will be nothing like the atmosphere inside the stadium. Booed at the start, booed at halftime, booed at full time. I mean, Arsenal fans aren't the most vocal. Let's not lie, but at the same time, we need to try to. I mean, I wouldn't because I'm not motivated by the club. But listen, I would go if these things weren't happening. I would go to Arsenal versus Chelsea with comprehending that we could lose because I want to watch my football club. As a United fan, it's poor seeing Arsenal falling down year and year, boy. Do you think Arteta will make it to Jan? Says Ian. Boy, he might not make it to December if they keep moving like this because ultimately he's the fool guy. I don't think Mikel Arteta is in any danger of losing his job at the moment. Obviously, fan pressure, results is what he's going to live or die by. What I believe by that is I think the club have looked at it. Yeah, that's a very tough start to the season. He's inherited a bad squad. He's won the FA Cup. We've doubled down on him, bearing in mind he's one of the cheapest managers to get in world football because he ain't got a name like that, And I think Arteta is putting less. Do I think Arteta is vexed about signings not being brought in? Yes, but you look at the way he's changed his comments on the technical front, really, with bringing in players from when he first signed to now. People are even resurfacing them online. They change. Arteta isn't going to put pressure on the board because he knows he's getting to do nonsense. Any other club, you play false nine with Smith Rowe, someone who's never done it. They're asking questions. A lot of things he's done, false nine, then persisting with Willian, moving Lacazette and Willian into the 10 before busting Smith Rowe, the Pepe business, the Saliba saga, the Ozil saga. Just damn right from a tactical point of view, what are you on? Man, get clipped for this. Guys get sacked for less. Some of the things that I think Emre needed to go. But in comparison to Arteta, if I'm Emre, I'm sitting at Arsenal and saying, F you lot, because a lot of the things I actually did a lot better. A lot of the things you got onto me and said I wasn't certain about, you're condoning it with Arteta. And I think Arteta knows there's no pressure. I can develop. I can do my thing. Fundamentally, I'm a manager. Arsenal know there's one less headache and he's cheap and he's things like that. And like I said with the start, I don't think he's going to leave anytime soon, which is why I think December. Like I said, results can accelerate things. Personally, I hope it doesn't get to that. I'd love us to turn it around. I'd love him to turn it around. I want to back anyone who plays for Arsenal or Arsenal manager. I don't want it to be a thing like that. But, the way it's going, I would say at least by Christmas. It could happen slightly before that, but it's not looking gazy. For me, I think Patrick Vieira, Arteta, and Hassan Hutul and any relegated promoted club are at risk. I'd say Arteta because they're moving mad. Vieira because, I think Palace need to stay in the league and it's probably going to be a long season. If Southampton stop scoring goals and by that logic stop winning, then they could be in trouble. You never know what could happen anywhere. And I'd throw Arteta into that. And it's only one game week. A lot can change. If Arteta beats Chelsea, I won't say the narrative changes because it doesn't, but it does change. You do earn some credit in the bank. Certain fans will shut up about things. Let's be real. So, yeah, man. When could Arteta get that sack? You lot are on fire today, man. Appreciate you lot. You lot on to say you lot are on fire is an understatement, people, man. This is fantastic. 528 likes. One love for all of that, people. Can we now get to 600? You lot are mocking it. I appreciate that. And this is why I'm privileged to have, I always say it to you lot, the fan base and the community that I have, because you lot talk sense, you say intelligent things, apart from this man are saying, Arteta, please stay, you're doing a great job. So yeah, we've got a little bit of banter here and whatnot. I appreciate it, man. Good afternoon, DG. I mean, I need to wake up. What was that on? You need to do the cool section of the show. Edu first. Arteta, yo, Arteta, what's up? I'm on to you still. You remember that. To be fair, bro, Eddie's probably not answering his blower, man. He's probably not answering that. And to be fair, I wouldn't. Like I said, I feel sorry for Arteta. I feel sorry for Eddie. I feel sorry for Bear Man as much as I criticize them because there's variables we don't know. Edu might be trying to get the hour words, get into Madison, and man are saying there's no peas, and Kroenke said there's peas. You know when you're younger and your mum promises you something, and then you're inquiring about what's going on, and there's been a sudden change of mind. It's one of them ones. I feel sorry for him in that regards. You know, I feel we mess around, but at the same time, there's a lot of things you could have done, and at the end of the day, you knew the role you was walking into. Man knew this ain't the Ritz. If I book the travel lodge, I'm not expecting butlers and things like that. If I want that, I'm going to the Ritz. If anyone wants to book me a place in the Ritz, you don't know, because DG needs to be living life and things like that. But you get the point, people. It's not rocket science. People overcomplicate this football thing. I can't lie to you. And that's the thing. If Arsenal had more clarity, fans would allow them. Sometimes, like I said, it just feels like it's some secret society business with half the things at Arsenal, whether it's contracts, you know, managers not seeing eye to eye, little bust ups, little things. Sometimes just say, not you don't have it's football in it. They're never just gonna say, but sometimes I think there's too much of an air of doubt, and they open it up to not only more frustration, but ironically more questioning. You come out and say things people shut up about stuff. It is what it is, man. AFTV for Bants, Deluded for the Truth. Hey, man, there's a lot of knowledgeable people on AFTV. Shout out Graham, you know, Curtis, you know, Lee. You know, there's quite a few still. I'm probably missing some out and whatnot, man. DG, how many points do you think we would have got in 33 game seasons against the other 11 Super League teams? I'm going to say 10, 15 max. Don't know, but probably not, probably embarrassing, man. Probably embarrassing. Do you think that it could be possible that two newbies, Arteta and Edu, could be sacked? Yeah, but do I see the club taking on that mad operation of bringing in a new manager, sacking off that new manager, and on top of that, a technical director? Probably not. So it'd be one of the two. Personally, I think Arteta will go before Edu. Obviously, Edu could go before Arteta. It'd be one or the other. You know, they could just bring in a more experienced one to help Arteta, or obviously, because fundamentally it's Arteta's team, it's Arteta, you know, and them things there, he could get clipped. Pardon me. So it's one of them. I'm completely honest with you. DG, you ever thought of using StreamYard so we can call in similar to Football Terrace? I'm using this, bro. I'm using StreamYard. That's something I want to get in, but that's for the members and subscribers, though. That ain't. I'm not doing, and the Twitch gang as well. I'm not doing that for the casual YouTube ones as well. But I appreciate it. Please stop spamming. You're ruining it. You're ruining it. You know, we're having a good conversation. Don't ruin stuff with the nonsense. Ragnar Lothbrook, just because I've watched that show, I'll answer your question. Do you rate Hugh Is? He always watches content. Hugh's sick, and that's my guy, man. But at the same time, man, they're not here to rate people and not rate people. I rate Hugh, but man, just in future, man, allow me with dumb questions. Man's not here to do gossip dramas and speak about other people and stuff. We're here for football and you guys, man. Not here to I rate this guy and that guy and this and that and come on, man. DG, how about Partey and Torreira in midfield? I really believe this two in midfield would be a sick combo. Hardly any creativity, but we could do a lot worse. But Torreira's not really on this thing anymore. Appreciate you, Carl. Anyone new, make sure you've sub, says Stylish. You one love to the members, the moderators, the subscribers, the DG Nation, and one love to everybody who's just tuned in. If you haven't hit the sub button, hit some, man. You guys don't envy Xhaka so much, and now he has renewed his contract. Should have just made him leave. Xhaka is stuck. No clue what you're saying there, Chris, but shout out to you. DG, why do we see football managers crumble the way Arteta does so often? Would you say he crumbles or is it incompetence? I don't think Arteta crumbles, but, you know, for me personally, I don't think it's a lack of experience with Arteta. I just think he's not got a willingness to learn from his mistakes. I don't think you need to manage 20 years to learn from things he's doing. Like, you know, I'm playing Willian. Willian is shit. Let me start playing him. You know, I need creativity. Let me start coaching these guys to be creative. I'm clearly giving them too much information and I'm not finding that healthy balance between what I need them to do for the collective and allowing their individuality, specifically the front four, three strikers and the 10. Let me try and, you know, which obviously if they can shine as individuals, they'll help the collective. I don't think he does that. I don't think he learns from his mistakes or shows a willingness or or at this moment as in time, what's the word, man? Like self-awareness for it. That's just me, man. Let's get real. Arsenal performing poorly is great for your show. Agree. Pollard, you're a bit of a twat, but let's answer that. Yeah, because my most views are when we've won. And how's it great for my show? You don't get a great me. I want Arsenal to win. But yeah, let's do this. Let's do this corruption. Oh, it's good for AFT. It's good for Arsenal content creators for them to lose. So everybody cries. Suck your mum. I want Arsenal to win. I always want Arsenal to win. And again, I get more views when we win. So it doesn't make sense. You can actually go on many social things and check that. I understand. Twats wanna obviously see Arsenal fans upset and whatnot when we lose. But let's be serious. If Arsenal performing that badly made my team succeed, I'm fucking called the deluded Gooner, bro. Do you know how clear I'd be with a million? So Michael, stop being a Pollock and shut up, man. Absolute twat. But I hope I hope you got your little comeuppance. You're probably upset. Your hands are probably sticky. Gally don't like you. Even if you swing that way, the man them don't like you. It's a madness. DG, I disagree. I think he's under huge pressure, especially if we've got 10 to 15 seats empty. That's why Wenger and Emery got fired. An empty Emirates is bad for them and for them more than being dead on I don't know what you said, H7, but I agree with that. What I'm saying is, I don't think because we feel Arteta is on thin ice right now, I don't think he's as thin ice in their books. That's what I'm saying. Like I said at the start, things can change. It's a results business. If the results are iffy, like you said, if there's no bums in seats, you've got to go. You're the easiest one to get rid of. But 100%, no bums on seats, you're gone. Well said, DG. No need to escalate this and set us up against each other. We all know that the board is the core issue. Just keep the message persistent. Facts, man. Big up, DG. I can't see how Arteta turns this around. I think he's being left to fail. I think he's been left to fail. But at the same time, he knew the role he was walking into. Man knew what they're on. I know they've been, as much as I feel he's been shortchanged and whatnot, man knew where they're going. They knew the road they're walking into. Like I said, man, no, this ain't the Ritz. If you go into JD, you're not going to see Louboutins and all of them things. You need to go Harvey Nicks or where I used to work, and you need to go Selfridges and all of those sort of things. So I can't really blame, man. And if I'm being a devil's advocate, I would say you knew this. And you know that they're giving you more responsibility without actually giving you more stronger things to hold against you, and you're relishing it because, like I said, the stuff he's had to deal with on the field, off the field since he's taken over at Arsenal are gonna make him, in my opinion, a great manager. I think he's got ability to grow and be a very good manager. Now, whether he's gonna be a good manager for Arsenal or elsewhere is different. That's the distinction that needs to be made and made quickly. And personally, I think it's gonna be somewhere else because I don't feel same pressure that's put on the players is not put on Arteta. Or the same logic of improve, like just asking Arteta, why did you do false nine in the semi-finals? Why didn't you play Smith Rowe earlier? Because I think that's happening with Tuchel. There's plenty of things Tuchel's done right, and there's things he's going to do wrong. Even when it's right, I want people to ask him, why did you do that? Just these sort of things. But I don't know if that's what we're on. Someone has to do the dirty job of clearing out the deadwood, but has to get the results as well. SK, I can't disagree with that. Daniel has said, I'm a Chelsea fan and I hate the direction AFC is going. The club is bigger than where they are and the owners need to go. I've been saying it since the ESL came. You're saying you go see your team, but is it our team or Kroenke's team? Broski, Kroenke owns the club. So it's technically his team, but, I'm an Arsenal fan. I was an Arsenal fan before him. I'll be an Arsenal fan after him. So, yeah, I'm not really getting where you're going, about. It is what it is, man. One love to you regardless. What business owner don't want to make money? You lot sound like McDonald's workers thinking they should get rich flipping burgers. No clue what you're on, Christopher York, but fair play. I think you found yourself into the wrong live chat because it's not making sense, my guy, man. Please go and clear your head and come with some sense. But moving forward, DG, what do you reckon about my assumption that Arsenal players look like they just can't be bothered anymore? It's worse than shady. I just think certain players think they're doing us a favor. And I said I don't think certain men can fight. They can't fight for themselves. So how can they fight for the football club or fight for you or me if you can't fight for yourselves? Crazy, man. Appreciate that, my dude. bringing Conte and Martinez, dream world, but fair play. Let me scroll the way down. I think I went all the way to the top. How often do you stream on Twitch, bro? Quite frequently. So if you don't follow and sub on Twitch, you're gonna miss out, man. But I'm not gonna ask you twice. You either do it or don't. One love to everybody locked in, man. Appreciate everything, man. We as a team just look bored and fed up. It's saddening to see fair few players needing to rev up and leave. Keep it real, DG Lindsay, 100%. And I don't feel that it's not a thing where they don't care. It's just certain man, as I said, certain man don't. Certain man can't fight. Like it's just this football thing here isn't for you. You need to go somewhere where it's not 30. So and certain man just can't do it. Like you just can't do it. And again, it goes to the mentality. I see players who can pass. There's very few. There's probably about only 2 players. There's certain players I don't think should be at the club. I don't rate, but there's probably only about 2 players I genuinely look at. And I'm like, nah, you're not good. You're not 2.5, 3, because one I think isn't good, but I think has the ability to play Premier League football or play anywhere. There's 2 genuinely, a certain right back, a certain goalie. I don't know how you're professional footballers. I'll be real. I'll genuinely be real with you. There's a certain midfielder that loves to play backwards. I think this ain't the right club for him and he's not good. But there's genuinely just only 2 players that I don't think are good. But then you've got players, everybody's got bad habits. Everybody's thinking isn't the same. People are not consistent. People are, there's things, and this is where it's the mentality, bro. It's the mentality more than anything on my life. They should have invited DG to the overlap. You have extensive football knowledge and represent Arsenal better than most. I'm not sure on that. I don't know what the overlap is. I don't think the industry like, man, but when you're too good to ignore, you won't be ignored forever, man. Man said, why don't you go out? Why don't you go out and buy Haaland, Lewandowski, or Son? Anyways, moving away from that, who do you think is winning the league? It's early doors, but you can't look past City. I'll never rule out Liverpool, and I think Chelsea might do a thing. I think United might do a thing. I think them 4 clubs will compete. Now, if I had to place money on it, I'm probably gonna have to put my money on City, but I think them lot are gonna do their things. A lot can be put right if we had a competent, confident, and consistent people, not even at the very top, but recruitment. We have spent money, but we have wasted it, from Dick Law to Mislintat, Raoul, now Edu, South London's finest, with one of the finest comments seen, and kind of echoing what I've been saying. Facts, 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 and more facts. That's a bit harsh, GDR, man. Ty's calm, man. Ty's my guy. I hear you, though. He's passionate, man. Big up yourself, my guy. You're spot on. It's the mentality of these players. Apart from a few, no one looks like they're willing to fight. Where's the team spirit? And you need everyone. If one man's on it, you just seem a bit of a madman. That was like my old team. I'm sure you all saw the viral clip. No one wanted to be a winner, only I did. That's why they kicked me out, but that's why I left and started winning trophies, people. It's mad how the world works. You get the point. You see, everyone needs that collective. When you look at City and Liverpool, it's not even just the players. It's not, and it's not even just the coaching staff. I'm looking at the medical people. Everybody's serious about things, man. I don't get all the lack of criticism. He's never had a full season or been the leading striker in any campaign. That's false. Get him up top with Pepe and Saka and a 10 behind him, and he'll get 20 league goals. Grant, fair play, but I think we're too far in the day for all of that, man. One love for the super chat, Ben. Wish you. What did you say, bro? You ain't got nothing to say. But I appreciate that. In fact, you've got a comment after. I'm just going to assume you meant to add that, man. One love anyways. How can we not win for being behind in 14 games? 0 wins, that's a joke. Having fight to come from behind, is that ARTETA or the players? Winning from behind is standard football we can't even do. Ben, one love for the super chat. First and foremost, even I hope you're in good spirits. And you said it there. If you can't, how are you going to get top 4, win the league and whatever? As I always say, it's like a boxing match. If you're a boxer, every boxing match you go into, regardless of what you've been planning before the fight, if you have 20 fights, they're not all going to go like that. You might think someone's a pussy and he comes out and just starts smacking you up. You have to adapt. I always say, I ask anyone that plays Sunday League with me, when we're goal behind, we're all rattled, but I say, I sit here and I say, have you never been a goal behind? So you're right. You need that fight. You need that determination. You need that headspace. And yeah, we've come from behind against Leicester. We've come from behind against West Ham. But then, what did we? Yeah, I'm sure we came from behind. I'm sure we came from behind against Leicester. I'm sure we came from behind against West Ham. We didn't win it. So they're not going to probably contribute into that. But you get the point, man. You're coming with banter today, brother. I don't think so. Just buying players isn't going to solve the issue at the club. Don't be deluded, excused upon. The ethos has to change. Maverick, I can't assume you're speaking about me because I never said that once. I've said mentality, but anyone that's been saying that, exactly. 40K soon, the numbers don't lie. By God's grace, man. I don't know yet, man. We might get that, man. I don't think this thing is growing, but it is what it is. Bro, allow us with rival fans showing sympathy towards us. Just give us the banter, please. Your pity hurts way worse. I mean, they give the banter, but I think when you look past that and that ego and all of those sort of things, when real football fans of any club, you understand and you sympathize with what's going on with Arsenal, same way I sympathize with Newcastle and everything going on. So, yeah, man, is what it is. And a lot of these players, like some of you are saying, a lot of these players know they're going to outlast Arteta, probably the next manager, whoever that is, people. 672 likes, people. Can we start our assault towards 700? One love for that, people. Whether we win or lose, our performances are a cause for concern, and that's a worry. Our squad isn't that bad. I hear you, man. I don't know, Badir, man, but you're going to get them, man. DG, just imagine when we are back on top, it's going to make up for the misery of the last 10 years. Visualize it. I can't visualize it, my guy, because you need to take active steps. It's like everyone wants to be financially free. No one wants to give up on their weekends out or them unnecessary Starbucks outings or Netflix or whatever. So I can't imagine it. You know, the only way I'll imagine it is if I see building blocks. I can't just have myself in a fantasy land. I do think we'll get to the promised land one day, but boy, when that happens, I don't know. You know, I didn't think we'd ever. I didn't even think I'd finish my school life in 2011, and we'd think we'd not win a league title. I definitely didn't feel we was here. But boy, if it can get worse, it probably could, man. DG, do you think Arteta is relying on our centre mids to be too technical, which they are not, and making our style of play too static? Every single component of this football club is why it's static. One love to the members. Them, you know, I've got members who are Spurs fans and whatnot. My man said early days in the season, but I think Arsenal need a few more signings. Much like us, use the AUBAMEYANG predicament is not going to help things, though. That's short-sighted from them, in my honest opinion. DG, which one is more important, a director of football or a manager? Edu and Arteta both need to go. Both have shocking talent ID and atrocious planning. It all depends. I would say the manager, because he's got to get the best out of the players. But at the same time, you've seen cases of great managers being, you know, the technical director is bringing in bewildering players and they're not being utilized. So I would say for me, I'd say the manager, because the manager would be more important to me if I owned the football club, but the technical director is important of the blueprint. So it all depends how you're looking at it. Fans need to grow up, criticizing each other for being too negative, calling out content creators saying it's good for their channels when Arsenal fumbles. What is there to be happy about? Boy, you tell me, man. It's hard to find a true Arsenal fan. Glad to be part of the DG community. No, there's plenty. There's plenty here. There's plenty elsewhere. But nonetheless, I appreciate that. You know, you get some idiots accusing me of whatever my channel's going to get bigger and whatnot. Fuck out of here, mate. Get out of here, man. What a muppet. Bro, it was lit when we won the FA Cup, broski. You know me, I love to troll, bro. Man, like winning so I can go and talk crap to Matisse, bro. I don't get that comment. DG ain't manager has no control over the performance, regardless. No clue what you're getting on about. You must have. I don't know what I've said, but I don't know what you said, my guy. One love, anyways. But from what you said there, manager is in charge of performance. I don't know what you said, but fair play, dude. Of course, Arteta lacks player management, man management, treating people as people because, there's some good examples, but same time, he's taken back for idiot, man. Please stop spamming. It's not going to get things read out and people end up getting blocked. Kroenke is a businessman. The real problem are those buying the players and the manager and the players for the lack of ambition and lack of fight. Arteta's system is not working. I hear you. You're not wrong. But who does that trickle down to? They would not be employed if somewhere along the lines you didn't sanction their employment. You're same way you said business. If I have a business and let's just say I got the best jerk chicken stand ever. If I've got the best jerk chicken stand, that's gonna be 30. That's because I want it to be the best. I might not be the chef, but I'm employing the best chef. I'm getting the best, graphic designers. I'm getting the best customer service people, them and whatnot. Same way, if I've got the shittest, that's my fault because who is paying for this? At the same time, I'm the boss. I've paid the cost to be the boss. It's all fundamentally on me. I'm the one who the taxes people are going to come to. I'm the guy who looks at the net balance after outgoings and incomings, what's it's being said. I'm the one who ultimately, when people look at what this brand's about and they find the owner, they're going to find the owner's name. Man, I'm not going to find the customer service manager or whatever. So it does all filter down from the manager. If the manager wants to be a winner, somewhere along the lines, things get done, man. Thoughts on signing Odegaard, provided we get it done, I'm all for it. All for it. But it's true, though. Laka starts to goals and minutes to goals. Stats say start him every week and he'll score 20 league goals. I hear that, man, but no, we've been, Laka, I remember a few years ago, Arsenal fans were saying, keep him on last 10 minutes. That's when statistically they get the most goals, bro. For me, you got to accept, guys, man. Laka's not going to get 20 league goals, bro. He's been here. And I'd say Arsenal recognized that 6 months into him being here because they clipped him, man. I don't get people who come in here and dislike the video so sour. If you disagree, make a comment and debate or just leave. Joseph, you need a brain for that. You need to have balance for that. But football doesn't have that. And then you've got the socials. There's certain people that nothing is going right in their life. So they'll come here or elsewhere, might even troll you lot talking nonsense. And I just say, hopefully God can give them, just a peace of mind to stop doing that. But if it makes them feel better, it is where it is. Oh, TW, appreciate that. I don't know, man. If I wanted to grow my channel, if I wanted to be an absolute mug, my guy, do you know how clear I would be if I never had no integrity? The name, I'll become, bro. Do you know how many views I could have caked off that Brentford one if I came out here and said, Arteta is shit, Arteta is this, that, shouting. But we live in a day and age, grown men are foaming at the mouth, bare veins on their head. But you can't, people, what you got to take is people like that don't know, man, innit? They don't know, man, from nowhere, so it can't mean anything. You just have to laugh, man. And you know what it is? I just think he's ruining the reputation, because his baby mom's probably just nodding and agreeing, and she can do the noddy thing elsewhere, but you get the point. Love for the super chat from the members. Their managers have to be managed, simple as. Can't disagree or add anything else to that, man. There's a lack of supporters where I'm from in Florida, bro. Boy, that's a shame, but go and find that, man. Man said, I tell man they're baffled in the most professional of ways. You've got to be, man. You've got to be. We are lacking in desire, no hunger, as their mouths have been stuffed full of overpayments. Now no club wants them. You know what? I don't even think it's a money thing. I just think these lot are not serious. I used to think it's the money making them like this. It's that. I just think you lot are soft. And when I say soft, I don't mean what it's meant to be. It's just like the minute there's a bit of adversity in life, the minute you lot find something you can't do or you find something difficult, you lot give up. They want it all easy, and that's not how life works, man. It genuinely feels like they feel Arsenal starting 11, not the good players, but Arsenal sum up, I believe, modern society. It's like you man want awards for just competing and just trying and all of these sort of things. It's crazy, man. You've got to, man. Do you know what it is? I've always been that guy from a youth. I know how to trigger people. If you get baby moms, girlfriends, mothers, you're gonna see it. Hey DG, there's a way to multi-stream video to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. I don't know where you live. I've got it, but at the same time, contractually, I can't. It has to be in two places. When the contractual business is done between Twitch and YouTube with myself, then yeah, we can do both. But for right now, it's either or. Literally cannot, or I'm violating a contract I signed. Sneak this in Troops or what? Troops is my guy. I don't know what you're doing, Waleed, bro. DG, why don't some people understand that in any business, the owners are ultimately responsible because they have oversight responsibility? Because you have to do your research, you have to have knowledge, you have to have several things like that, man. It's an issue, man. We got the St. Kitts. DG, although he's crying out for a move, I haven't noticed anyone actively making a move for Willian. Have you heard anything? I'd love to know what he's pinning his hopes on. Not a clue. And I mean, you can move as much as you want. If you're a shit baller, no one's offering, and on high wages, no one's on it. Hit the like button, like my man said, people. It's a bit of a madness, man. We got the Kenyans locked in. At the same time, I don't know if fans will go to the Chelsea game. I don't think there's gonna be no fans there. There will be, man. Mine will lead, man. It's just what it is. Not you, but the Knicks getting this thing, man. Start saying I said this and this and that. It's a myth. EG said contracts, man, on the executive board ish. Nah, I'm a humble guy, man. Trying to be better than I was yesterday, broski. How do you think Chelsea doing this season? I think they're going to challenge for the league. I do think Chelsea might be I think Chelsea would be their worst enemies if they don't win the league, because when I look at this Chelsea team, they make games harder than it needs to be. Like the Villarreal one, they could have killed that in 20 minutes. With Lukaku, it changes things, but you need to start scoring and killing off games. I don't feel Chelsea's players have quite clocked you've got to be killers. And I'm only comparing them to the league winners. The only thing, obviously, City have more abundance of riches, but City are killers. If they smell one goal, they're trying to get 2-3. I'm not saying Chelsea don't. I'm just saying as a fan, I don't get that vibe. Sort of thing. So like I said, I think Chelsea, City, Liverpool, I don't think you can write them off. I think United need to challenge. They've got a good team. If no injuries happen, there's no reason they can't. They finish second as well, so that should be the ambition. I think them four teams will be doing their thing. I think Leicester will complicate things in relation to top four and whatnot. So we'll have to see what happens firmly in that regards, people. We've been here so long. We actually haven't spoken about Aubameyang / Lacazette. Now, I've said it before, and you lot kind of quashed it because you said it would have to have been formally made public. But I personally feel Aubameyang and Lacazette are suffering with COVID purely because there's got to be a coincidence. Now, there could be bust-ups and disagreements, but I thought they're suffering with COVID personally. And I feel when you look at Runnison, suddenly he's ill as well. So I think there was problems in that regards, and they stand to miss Chelsea, regardless of if they're leaving or whatnot. Both of those players, I don't question their professionalism. And I know if there was an opportunity to play, they would play. But just for you lot, if you haven't, apparently there was a chance that our game, and I'm sure many of you, not through these circumstances, but what happened wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for this. If it wasn't for this, as you lot can see here, Arsenal's Premier League opener against Brentford was just hours from cancellation after 3 players reported feeling ill before the match, forcing every member of their squad and staff to take COVID tests. The Premier League curtain raiser at Brentford last Friday was hours from being postponed after Arsenal's entire travelling party had to take COVID tests before kickoff. Top 5 clubs, as you lot know, people are tested twice a week, but there was enough concern over Arsenal's visit to the Brentford Community Stadium that their players, coaching staff, and others associated staff were told to take additional tests on the day of the game, which Brentford obviously won 2-0. Obviously, that had nothing to do with it. Scrolling all the way down, people. Nevertheless, the scare again highlights the impact COVID is having on domestic football. So again, Aubameyang weren't there. As you lot know, it says Arsenal were without star forwards Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Lacazette for the game against Brentford after both said they felt unwell. Reserve goalkeeper Runnison was also unavailable for the trip, as you lot know. So I personally think that's where we're at with them people. I don't know why the club don't just come out and say it, because it will quash things. There could be more to it, but That's what I felt, and that's what I feel at the time. So it's a bit of a sad one. And you have seen some reports saying that individual players had to travel to Brentford in separate cars or cabs or whatever. It weren't a team bus thing. I don't know if that's true. I can only go off that. So that's what we're hearing. And it's a shame if they can't be back for Chelsea versus Arsenal. But at the end of the day, this is somebody's health. These are people's health. Fuck the Arsenal Chelsea game. It doesn't matter. It's about your health. So we're wishing not only Lacazette and Aubameyang and Rinison, but anyone that's suffering with COVID, anyone that's suffering through the direct fallout of it and whatnot, we're wishing them speedy recoveries and good health and all of these sort of things, people. So yeah, and that's a good point. They can't announce it if the test results aren't available. So yeah, it is a bit of a tricky one. And it just creates further doubt at a time where people are questioning if Lacazette's going to be here. Obviously, Aubameyang isn't scoring goals, so people are saying there's issues and whatnot. So yeah, man, fundamentally, like I said, hopefully everybody returns to good health sooner rather than later, folks. Simple as that. When the president of Rwanda said what he said, I felt that. And I mean, he's not exactly the most moralist guy, but he wasn't wrong. And I think it's a bit ironic. Haven't you seen that Dave announced a new deal for people? Hopefully my screen doesn't freeze and whatnot, people. But as you lot can see here, just because you mentioned Rwanda, I mean, Arsenal agreed 10 million a year shirt sleeve sponsorship deal with Visit Rwanda for another 4 seasons, just days after the country's president hit out at the Gunners following dismal defeat by Brentford. So there you have it there, people. As you lot know, they've extended it for 4 more years. I'd implore you all to go and look, because he really did get at Arsenal, man. The game itself aside, Arsenal and the fans don't deserve to kind of get used to this. It's been a struggle of about decades of ups and downs, more downs until this point. Can't we have a plan that really works? One part to look at is how we deal in the market. Players we buy to execute the plan. The touch and go mentality does not bring change. Facts. So yeah, he also went and said, we just must not excuse or accept mediocrity. A team has to be built with purpose to win. So when we lose, it was not to be expected. I'm sure we all know on those shoulders the heaviest burden rests. I hope they know too, or even accept it. So that's what he has said in that regards, people. But it is what it is. Let me add up the timestamp. Complete that for you guys, people. Can Arsenal change manager? You have to think it then, man. The whole president, bro, we're doing a massa. It's absolutely mad. I put the blame on Edu. Leeds, Leicester, Villa, Wolves, Spuds have all done as much or more than us with less from their owners. Edu sucks and Arteta is underperforming. Owner change will just set us back. Not sure on the set us back bit, but I hear you. How old are you? 300. It can't be COVID because the club has an obligation to announce it. As you lot said yesterday, but then I'm just hearing this COVID scare and whatnot. So we'll have to see, man. It's an interesting one, though. It's an interesting one, man. What's your thoughts on Havertz? Good player, man. Want to see more? Want to see him more play in a certain sort of role this year rather than floating about? Good player, man. Keen to. I don't know in it, because I think Lukaku and Werner probably be the guys, but I would have loved to his thingy. I would love to. How do I make it make sense? I'd love to see Lukaku and Havertz link up, man. I think Bielsa's a fantastic manager. DG did morality have to come up. His point was valid. His point is valid. But I mean, my point is you can't throw stones from a glass house. I'm pretty sure the people of Rwanda would have something to say about how he's dealing with things, But, large up Rwanda. His point is valid, but, like he was without sin throw the first stone. No, I personally am not going to the protests. I got watch alongs to do. But one love to everyone who is, man. To be honest with you, Alexander, I hear you, but I don't know Daniel Ek from no one. I don't know Dan Gote from no one. I barely even know Kroenke. So it's a bit redundant speaking about how good owners would be and whatnot, because I don't know what they're on. I don't know them from nowhere. Of course, there's other illnesses other than COVID. You know, Aubameyang had malaria. I just think that there's a COVID outbreak in the Arsenal team. Why can't I think that? 780 likes, people, 20 more likes, and we've hit 800. One love to everyone who is here. 856 of you locked in. I know not everyone has hit that like button. Arteta underperforming, huh? He's inexperienced and hasn't learned anything within 18 months. So that kind of would mean he's underperforming, bro. The deal was months in planning, so his comments wasn't going to stop the deal, but I think it was meant to put Arsenal on notice. Fair play. Trust me. Following this club is one of my favorite hobbies. Eric, are you an Arsenal fan or not? Because other fans of other clubs probably saying that's a hobby of theirs now in recent years to say that. So is an issue. But I'm not a doctor, bro. I'm not here to specify about things. I just think that people are suffering with COVID. I think there's an outbreak of COVID in the Arsenal camp, much like you've seen it at the training ground in a couple of opinions. I hope it's nothing serious, but it's equivalent thingies. It's equivalent illness. That's just my opinion. I'm not gonna fight you. What else are we saying away from conspiracy theorists? If only Jeff Bezos was an Arsenal fan. If only, man. If only. I don't know what happened to the way we played against City in the FA Cup. It's gone, man. I know I earned my name. For having another opinion makes me deluded. For you not being able to comprehend other opinions makes you stupid. Either way, I'm sure your baby mum is watching you holding up her breast as we speak. It's all right, mommy. DM me. Moving on. I'm switching my emotions off until Arteta leaves. It's unintelligent to waste emotions on lost causes. I think Arsenal's a lost cause, but we're here, man. I'm not going to the protest, no. Because I'm not planning on going to the game. I go to the protest. How am I going to watch the game? Like, I'm not going to get back in time. And watch along still have to be made, man. 6'9" striker. I don't know who you on about. Is the Florentina striker that too? I don't think so. Taran, I don't know if I'm funny, but appreciative, man. That's below the belt, TW. Jeff would have all of our players on minimum wage like they deserve to be. Boycott the game. I mean, getting the match called off don't really make sense, really, because we're gonna have to play them again. You know, what is it going to solve? It's just going to get people fines. It's just going to get us to replay the game. It's just going to be a sad, another dark moment. And really, is that going to get us any closer to stuff changing at our club? I hope it does, but I can't guarantee that. You know, Man United fans were doing a madness. You'd have to ask them, has anything truly changed at their club? I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that's the bad answer. I'm just asking, what's it going to solve? You know, is Kroenke going to think, oh my God, the game got locked off. Do I need to sell the club now? I'm asking you, like, I don't know. Isn't that a selfish decision? Isn't that a selfish decision? Curtis said he's going peanut gunner, Gooner. Sorry. First things first. Am I Curtis's dad? Is he my dad? Do I live with Curtis? Now we're both staring at the screen, wondering what's going on. You know, what he's doing, does it affect me? Second of all, you know, the world keeps spinning. You know, I still have to do this watch along. If anything, I want to be there. You know, it'd be selfish to not be there, to say I'm not going, I'm going to be here, and the world keeps spinning. You know, at the end of the day, you know, man still got a channel to make, but still need to pay bills. So unless you're going to do any of that, like, it's not making sense, is it? Come on now, Peanut. Let's just hope your brain is bigger than the peanut, because it's not making sense. I like you, but let's be serious, man. Just in case it's killing me. Damn, the likes look good. DG, do you want Odegaard? Who wouldn't want Odegaard? I know some of the Arsenal fans move like he's not a good footballer, but yeah, we need to try. There's more than one way of trying at the protest, and we've done it before. Let's remove emotion and look at the logic. As much as I want it to change things, what's going to happen? You know, it's going to need to be a series of protests. I'm relaxed, but come on now, bro. Like, it's just common sense. I breed common sense. Like, I don't get how Arteta has become untouchable. Most clubs with ambition would have got rid of him last season, boy. You have to take that one up there with Arsenal, bro. It's nothing to do with being savage. It's just not making sense, bro. Kind of emotionally charged responses. That this is why I don't really like doing Kroenke videos, because man get emotionally charged. I need to use their common sense, bro. And the wickedest thing is, dons like that will be telling me to go, bro. You're probably living in North London as well. You're probably not going nowhere. It's always like, oh, that celeb should have given his money to charity, but you might not be on celeb piece. You ain't even given a pound to charity. You ain't even helped the local crackhead that you walk past. Shut up, man. And apologies for calling man crackhead, but like, fam, like, fam. Would you take Wenger if Arteta gets sacked until the end of the season? I'm Wenger, baby, so why not? But dream world, didn't it? Dreamland. Don't man get mad over Kroenke, bro. So win-win for Kroenke. You pay for your ticket and protest, they get paid. You run on the pitch, you're banned from the stadium. And fundamentally, I want to watch the game, bro. I'm not going to sit and cap. One love to the platforms and that, man. But yeah, man, we do need a central platform. There needs to be a coordinated movement. But like I said, the fans are too divided. Because let's be real, there's a snooty sort of Arsenal fan. There's fans that think because I'm part of an AST or I'm a season ticket holder, or I'm part of several other groups, I'm better than you. We all know this. There's people that care about their ego more than the club. There's people that would be more happy being the face of a successful Kroenke out campaign than actually getting the man out. I don't make the rules. I to understand them, folks. Yeah, you get the point there, man. You get the point. Okay, out extended. Sorry, people, they're just making them timestamps. Too divided, broski. Too divided, man. Hey, DJ, I just realized I've never seen anyone with a Xhaka printed jersey, and we've given this man a new contract. I have. I don't know, man. I've spoken about the Xhaka new deal. It's done, innit? DJ, I had to block that TW mod. Unblock, man. What are you doing? Unblock him. That's my guy. Unblock, please. Someone unblock. What you doing, man? Just in case you might end up like that. He's been here from the start, man. That's a joke. Moving forward, anyways, man. Please stop spamming, though. Hope this protest don't get called off. Would you ever Wenger out? If you're asking me, was I sitting there and you Wenger out? No. But there became a point where, as much as I loved the guy, you needed to step down. I'm not gonna lie. Towards the end, he needed it. No, I am part of it. So when I was at the one, the second from last one, why was no one saying nothing about me then? If I go to if I go to it, let me just make this clear, because you lot are getting things fucked up. I love you lot, but I'm not a dickhead, you know. Like, bro, let's get things back. No one can tell me that. Whether I go to the game or I go to or I buy a piece of merch or I go to Kroenke, this, no one can tell me what I think and what I do. Same way I can't tell a next man that supports Arsenal or woman. I can't. And I don't care. I know what I'm doing. No one can tell me a thing, you know. You lot don't pay my bills. You lot won't care about me if something goes wrong. If I die, none of you are gonna be at my funeral. So let's get things twisted. Let's get things crystal clear. If I ever want to go or not go, I will or won't. And it won't. I don't care what man should go, because yeah, I need to be seen as a YouTuber there at the Kroenke out, so everyone can see that. Yeah, it's about it. Fuck you lot, pardon my language, or anyone like that. You know, I'm not living for you lot. I do something you lot rate it. I do something you lot don't agree with. You hate me for it. Shut it. Shut it. Arsenal fans in England are not doing enough in these protests at the Emirates. Do the United way. But you could say Arsenal fans abroad are not doing what United fans abroad. I'm seeing man in Kenya doing protests. I ain't heard no foreign fans elsewhere. You know, come on now. Like, what the man want? You lot all saying break into stadiums, move mad, do this and that, bro. Are you lot paying bills, bail fees? Are you lot sending man can't eat? Are you lot dealing with the GBH cases? Come on now. Come on now. Come on, TW, man. Big up New Zealand. Big up just in case as well. But you lot, you see what I'm talking about? Stay together. DG, could you do a recap? No, but you can scroll back, man. I'm not here to do recaps and whatnot, man. With respectfully. Appreciate that, man. Now I'm just paying Lewis. I know there's real guys. I'm just painting a picture. No. No one can trigger me. I just never say these things. And I just think because I'm always here and because YouTube is free, man, get a certain sort of comfortability. Like, do never get it twisted. Like, man, I'm not, you don't know, man. Like, calm it down. Man said, wait, hold up, DG been going gym. Biceps come, not really on the gym thing. Little here and there, you know, little here and there and that. Love for that one. All the hate, the baby mamas, give them a next one, man. I tattoo your name there. I'm lying, I ain't tattooing no woman's name on my skin. You're moving mud. Man said Cassidy, Birchwhite, all these things, man, can't get away with it, man. Oh, man, you lot onto me still. I mean, the owner's still there. You know, I run love to United for doing that, but the owner's still there. The world keeps spinning. If anything, the only person that was disadvantaged is stewards. You know, stewards doing their jobs. I know you saw the unsavourable scenes there. What did it solve? And I'm not saying United were wrong with that. I back it. But we need to stop using emotion. Yeah, mash up the Emirates, do this, do that. Okay, tomorrow what's going to happen? It's like what Laughing Gooner said. You need a small group that keeps the pressure. We need to keep doing what we're doing, but we need a bit more. Oh, not getting arrested over no fucking Arsenal. Are you mad? Plenty of time being in the station, and you want me to go over that? Myth. No shorter than no shorter than your gal to give you a little something, my guy, man. Yeah, people act like Wenger was a complete saint. I do to a degree as well, but at the same time, there's issues, you know. No man is without faults, but at the same time, I do think people give man a bad rep. Bro, Bergwij's trying to look like me, bro. I'm not trying to look like him, cuz he's trying to look like me, bro. I was in North London first. I don't care what he's doing in this football thing and that. I don't know if I'm funny, but I appreciate that, man. I'm not saying United didn't achieve great success, you know, but he asked you, the owners are still, TW asked you a question. Are the owners still there? Yes. So what changed? You know, what happened the next day? You know, is it a one and done thing? Because right now you don't see it. And I'm not criticizing United. You don't see it. You know, is it a one and done thing? What did it achieve the next day? It's not making sense, bro. But anyways, man, it's time to hit gym, man. I can't lie to you. It's time to get some munchies and hit the gym. I've been here for what, 1 hour and 42 minutes. This has been amazing with you lot. I guess we will have to trust the process, my broski. We will have to trust the process, but it is what it is in that regards. You know, we've spoken about Kroenke. I've answered your questions. We spoke indirectly about 1-2 stuff. Sadly, we had to talk about Lacazette. You know, one love to all the moderators, subscribers, and all the rest of it. You know, I appreciate you lot for locking in. It's been amazing, man. But on that note, I'm going to get out of here, man. It's been appreciative. I'll see you lot all tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. There'll probably be 1-2 bits of content filtering. Got a crap load of videos I haven't uploaded as well. Check out the DG podcast as well, because it came out before this, and I'm sure there's a bunch of content you ain't seen. Against this right back, Charlie.